we mix things, it causes problem. One more time, I'd like to welcome everyone to today's launch of Macarios Luxury Place. And I do hope that your time with us will be quite worth it. And let me start by defining the word Makarios. Every time I want to give something a name, I involve my family. So I wrote out like 4 or 5 names and asked my wife, my sons, my daughters-in-laws to take a vote. Initially, they didn't know the meaning of Macarios, but once I told them it meant abundance, increase, being fortunate. 83.7 acres of land consolidated over a 23-year period. We were never in rush. We didn't buy it yesterday. We bought it over a 23-year period, putting it together, putting the vision together so we can build something that is a testimony. Macarios Luxury Place, as you are here today, sits on the Lekki-Epe Expressway. So I would like to take you through the PowerPoint. I do hope I can get them to work, if they can help me with the slides. Okay. First of all, why did we choose to have a water display place? I've lived in the United Kingdom for 39 years. I still live there. My family is still there. My children were here with my grandchildren and my daughters-in-law. And every time we come, I want to impress my grandchildren with the need to continue to always be Nigerian. But then when we come, we're looking for a place to go in Lagos. And we don't often find. For a city of 22 to 27 million people, that is a disappointment. I believe that our vision in Macarios is therefore not to build an estate people will come and live in and just live. We wanted to build something that is a global statement. We wanted to build a place that will be the pride of you who are here today. BRG and other realtors and all our guests who are here today. Put your hands together for BRG, please. BRG is a conglomerate of real estate people who are with us today, and then there are some others. And I'm going to acknowledge all my guests at some point. We wanted to build a place that will make a statement. And I was a reluctant visitor to Dubai. I'm not exactly a tourist. I almost don't go anywhere unless I'm going to preach. But my wife is a dedicated Dubaian. Since that guy was telling us what various towns would be called. And my first visit to Dubai, I guess it was probably, I went for a birthday, the birthday of Pastor Biono Fatoimbo of Koza. And I went to the Dubai Marina. I was so blown away to see what nature and technology can do, combining water and technology to make an impact. So our water display place is not a figment of imagination. You are actually sitting in our water bowl right now. So make water no carry on a go. They are sitting in our water bowl. Matter of fact, it was today's launching that made us to delay the excavation of the 1.5 acres of the water bowl, which actually has thrown our project back a little bit. So instead of opening April 10 like we planned, we're going to open May 1, Labor Day, May 1. You come here May 1, Labor Day, you're going to see some serious display here. Please put your hands together and celebrate that. So the Macarios Water Place is a place where as you come, just in front of our estate here, we've taken like 3 meters of the setback plus 3 meters inside, and we are creating what is known as a promenade. You'll be able to sit on concrete seating as you watch the water display. So there will be a beautiful promenade in front of this from where you can watch the water display. And if you are wondering, how about the people on the streets? We are going to build a wall, because if we are putting, guess how much it is costing us? $6 million to build Macarios water, just the water place. We didn't need to do it. It doesn't make real estate sense. And having done business since I was 14, you shouldn't put $6 million in a place, but we're doing it because it is going to, number one, make a global statement. Number two, and in fact, when we invited OASE to come and do it, they said there's nothing like it in sub-Sahara Africa. The only place they've been invited in Africa to do it is Morocco, and it's the government of Morocco that is doing it. So this is going to happen, and it's happening by May the 1st. We've already marked. We had to remove all our markets. Engineer Demola Daga, please stand up so they can see. These are one of our engineers who's worked very hard. Our COO, our consultant COO is not here today. Gamal Al-Haidi, who is from Egypt, is not here today. He unavoidably had to be in Anambra State. He's more like a Nigerian. He's lived there for 30 years, even though he's from Egypt. And other staff, at some point I'll introduce them. So this is the water place. Part of what will happen is this water you are looking at, it dances to music. Not only does it dance to music, then it will be concentrated to become a TV screen. And video will be projected. Video will be projected. So you came with your children, you bought ice cream from the mall, you sat at the promenade. Before you know, your children have paid us to say happy birthday. Which mommy shall we put here? Mommy Dorothy or Bata will say happy birthday, whatever your name is. You just see your name written on the water. There'll be video screen. Nigeria's independence will play the video. Lagos State is doing something major, we'll play the video. Nothing offensive. We'll play videos of musicians that are not immoral and that are not religious but just amoral in the middle. Because we don't want to offend anyone. Macarios is for everybody. I hope I make sense. Water place. It's going to be a major statement. It's going to be very major. 1.5 acres of the most prime part of our land is what we're using, the one which faces the road. But our mind is to see that we do something that you also can be proud of. And then beyond the water display, I'd like to talk about the whole of Macarios. Like I said earlier, it is 33 hectares. 33 hectares, 8,000 square meters of just the mall alone. My good friend and brother who's here today will say that is small for a mall. Mr. Ashimolowo is here. He's the past CEO of UPDC. Most of you who know real estate. Please let us celebrate Mr. Ashimolowo. But 8,000 is 2 acres of a mall that will just be at the back here. And then we have 1,000 square meters of office space. When you go out of this hall, the other side is still part of the commercial. We'll show you later how Macarios is divided essentially into 2 sections, commercial and residential. And if you don't live in Macarios and they didn't invite you, you cannot enter the residential. It's going to be like a fortress. Then we have 2,250 event hall. So that if you came to Macarios to wed, you can use the water place for your background, the event hall for your reception, or the children's park, which you will see later. The next slide. Here, Makarios shows you that we're going to be having an estate. I mean, most of the time, the people who are HNIs, high network investors, want a place which they can live and they didn't have to hustle, and they have rest, they have peace of mind. So Macarios will be a place where you have peace of mind because we have parks. when I was showing some people outside. Our layout approval was pursued by a one-time commissioner for physical planning, is the one who handled it for us, and the one-time president of Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. So even where we wanted to compromise, he would say no way. So we have 1.5 acres of football field, basketball, and any other kind of sport you want to do. Then another 0.5 acre again. I'm just wondering who will have but we have so many parks in Macarios where it just means you are able to go sit down in the park and play in the park. Next slide. Macarios, like I told you, has a commercial section and a residential section. The commercial section has a major mall, which is 8,000 square meters, and we are likely to just sell the space to the people who will build the mall, or we might build it ourselves and then look for a major carrier, a major business that will now attract the others. But certainly Macarios will be a place where you can come and shop and you can also dine. You see, Macarios has 4 things. It's a place to live, it's a place to work, it's a place to play, and it's a place to dine. So we have a grand mall still in the section that is commercial. Next slide. The next slide, please. Macarios is also a place where we have 0.5 acre dedicated to an event hall. So that if you came to Macarios, the business section is where you can have your event. You can have your photographs at the various parks inside the commercial, and you can also have it in the water place. Next one. Macarios will have close to 10,000 people living there. At least that's the calculation from the water and mechanical engineering company who are working with us. They said eventually at its full stage, 10,000 people will live in Macarios, and obviously they will need school space for their children. Just behind the mall, therefore, we have a major space, about almost 2 acres set aside for school space. So for some of you asking, commercial space for sale, if there's somebody who wants to buy the space for the school, it basically means they are just plugging into an opportunity. Next thing about Macarios, next slide. This is the general picture of this area. I often feel like saying that Macarios is at the meeting point of Lekki and Ibeju. I don't like it when people say, oh, the place is in Ibeju. We are not in Ibeju. We are under Ibeju local government. One day that name will change and you'll find that it's the most respected place. You know, today people love to say they are in Lekki phase 1, but that used to be Morocco. How many of you remember when Lekki phase 1 was Morocco? Shanty town first class. Shantier than Ajegule. So one day Ibeju is going to change. But Macarios is not really in Ibeju. We are on Lekki Ekwe Express, albeit under Ibeju Lekki local government. And the advantage this gives us is that at the end of today's presentation, you will drive round, you will find that Macarios has 6 to 8 lane express in front and a 4-lane express at the back. So if you are coming into Macarios, you could, before you came to the front, turn and come through the back route and enter your house. Unless you are coming to the residential, you could also drive through the back to the residential, but to the commercial, but you cannot enter through the residential. We want to give the residential people first-class treatment. I think they deserve it. Put your hands together for our residents even before they come. Next slide. Macarios, why? Why this area? Firstly, it is expected that the level of industrialization in this area is going to be on a level like you have never seen. The largest deep sea seaport in this part of the world, the largest refinery outside of some parts of Europe, likely to kick off this year. We pray it happens so that all this QQQ will come to an end. It is an anachronism, an oxymoron, to be the producer of a product and yet you don't have the product. So this area of Lagos is going to become highly industrialized, which means a large number of people from around the world will come and live on this end. I remember when we were engaging the Egyptian gentleman who is now our consultant COO. He said, I see this area explode because the day is going to come when people who live in Lekki Phase 1 who come and work here will not want to do that journey anymore. They would like to live on this side. Why this area? Because it is referred to as the new Lagos, and we call Makarios the new Ikoyi. Come on, put your hands together for that. Why? Because with the landmark in Ibejuleki, no area of Lagos will be more developed than this. You know, when you are the last to develop, you correct previous errors. And let me just tell you some things that may not be on this map, and the people in the village opposite us don't know, is that the mobile you saw in front of us will be going one day. The houses you saw in front of us will be going one day because a train line is coming. A train line is coming there. I do hope they'll give me a better mic. A train line is coming that will come from Marina and take you to Ekpe. Come on, somebody celebrate that. So development is coming on a level like has never been seen, parallel to the road you saw. And I do apologize for the level of traffic you saw when you were coming. It's a current inconvenience for a future convenience. The road is being completely changed. And the quality of construction, if you can notice, is on a high level. It is such that the road will have a high durability. But on that parallel to the road will be a train line. So anyone who lives in this area will have the option of not only driving, but being able to catch the train to go many places. Why this area? Ibeju will rise to the top of the list of destinations sought after by tourists. And when that time comes, we want Macarios to be at the forefront of leading it. In the next 5-6 weeks, one of the engineers in Oase will be leaving Germany to come and do a final assessment before they begin to bring the pumps and the equipment to set inside the massive bowl we are building here. I was supposed to be with them in Germany in December. For some reason, I developed cold feet. I said, I'll stay in my house, and I'm glad I did the day after the snow took over their country. Why Ibeju? The deep sea port would link West African nations and support regional economic operations. For those who do not import, you may not know the hassle of bringing in containers and other stuff. Mr. Tayo Ladakwa, who did the welcome speech, all he complains when he talks to me is that the hassle of bringing in his containers. He brings, any time you drink water in Nigeria or any drink that is bottled, the only man who imports all the filtration system is our Mr. Tayo Ladakwa. So help us put your hands together for him. Next slide, please. All right, this is a panoramic view of Macarios. This is the 33 hectares, 83.7 acres. This is Lekki Ekpe Expressway. You drove in through the front, but in the future it will not be so. The green you are looking at in front is our water display place. And just beside it to the west, no, to the east is the park for children. It's going to be a water park. It's just behind me here. It's going to be a water park with train driving inside. Come on, put your hands together and celebrate that. We're not imagining it. We're already in discussion with the company that will build it from South Africa. They're currently handling a project in the United States of America And once they finish, next one will be Makarios. Also, we also want to be very wise. We want one part to be presented, and while we're enjoying that, we open the next. Behind the water is the mall. Behind the mall is the office. And just behind all of them to the east is a car park of about 3 acres for everyone in the business district. One massive car park, whether you came to the water display place, you came to the restaurant in the mall, or you came to the office, one massive car park to handle everyone who comes, that is able to park between 2,000 and 3,000 cars. To the west of the commercial first building is a hotel, and we're looking forward to a 4-star hotel already designed. We will build it, but if somebody shows us a good money, we'll sell the design and the land and let them also be with us. Next to the hotel is an office complex. Remember, Macarios is a place where you work, you live, you play, you dine. So there'll be an office complex, and whoever is building the office complex, we want to work with them to create a multiplex kind of office complex where you can come and rent a room for your businesses, for your office work. And next to the office is the event place, which people can come and rent. Next to the event place will be a 2,000 square meter, half an acre land given by Macarios to KRCC so they can have a church there. It's free, but I'm looking at their national superintendent. They should bless Macarios by buying land in the residence. So 2,000 square meters of the commercial part will be a church building given to KRCC, and it's my vision, matter of fact, to come and help them pastor that one. And next to the church building, there's going to be a hospital. There'll be a hospital so that it is in the commercial section for 2 reasons. We don't want anyone who have an emergency in the area and there's no place to go. They're able to come into the commercial section to engage the hospital, which means somebody with a good practice can buy the hospital. The residential part of Macarios is broken into 3 or 4. I start with the west. The west of Macarios, this long part, is made up of 10-floor buildings. 10-floor buildings with 52 apartments in each of the buildings. 52 apartments, but high-end. Macarios does not want a barrack experience. I've had enough. I was born in the barracks. I don't want another barrack. So all the houses there will be 10-floor buildings, high-end apartments, residences. In fact, the top of the 10th floor will be a beautiful 5-bedroom penthouse, which will be more like a maisonette, so that it is double floor, which therefore we believe that there are people who want luxury, but they don't want to buy one plot of land for 2 billion naira anymore. And they want something that gives them the same quality of life. Same quality of life. And in a place that they can say this is good. So 10-floor buildings will line up here. In the middle will be 192 terraced houses. And we're going to show you what they look like later. The terrace houses, matter of fact, we've laid foundation for 24. We were waiting for our layout approval to be out before we can proceed, and it came out 4 p.m. yesterday. After 8 months instead of 2 months. Lagos State collects their money up front, 36 million for layout approval. Macarios does not want to build or sell land to you and say, we have C of O, we have C of O. C of O is no guarantee that you are permitted to build. C of O is no guarantee that every plot there should be sold. Proper roads should be created. Proper spaces should be put. So the middle has 192 terrace houses. Just below the middle, we have 18 detached houses. These detached houses will show you what they look like. Currently, there are 230 plots in Macarios available for sale. Having said 230, at the south of the land, Macarios acquired additional land. That was why I said used to be 83 square meters. It is now 94 square meters. But we are only talking of the 83 that has all the approval. Are you with me? I said, are you with me? The green areas are the various parks statutorily set aside and approved for recreation and the various events. Next slide, please. Next slide. This is the layout of the residentials. The one to the right are the terrace houses. There are 192 of the terraced houses, and there are 18 of the detached houses. I'll move to the next slide. Next slide. This is the terrace houses. We call it in Greek antizo. Antizo means to begin to bloom and begin to grow great. You may say this man likes Greek a lot. Part of the reason is we wanted to be different. We wanted to be unique. We wanted something you could identify with, something also that has its mystique. Its mystique. So the terrace houses, the antizo, is made up of 4 bedrooms, a staff apartment, space for your parking. There are 192 of them. And like I said earlier, we have engaged one of the companies in land, Dutum. I think they have a small stand out there. And they've already started building. Dutum is building the terrace houses, and they're also building our promenade. The promenade where you will stand to watch the water display, which will be in front. Next slide, please. This is the layout of the antizo, the terraced houses. So you're able to park your car on the ground floor. You have a guest room, your kitchen, and the staff room. Next one, next slide. And in the next floor, you have your living room, your dining, your service quarters. That is for your staff. Next slide. And on the last floor, you have the master bedroom, a walk-in closet, and you have a terrace to look out from, more bedrooms that are en suite, and the lobby. I'd like to go to the next slide. The next slide shows you the quality we want to build in Macarios. We want to build a house which people will feel that they are proud to live in Nigeria and to work if they work in this area. So this is antizo. This is the terrace houses. Next slide. This is one of my favorites. I keep wondering, maybe I'm going to even live in one of them, or just buy my plots from Makarios and build. But if I have to live in Macarios, this might be one of the ones I live in. The deliazo, which means to dazzle, to make a person enthralled, to put a person under, to make a person awestruck. I was reading my Bible this morning, and it says in Luke chapter 5, I think verse 9 or 10 in the New Living Translation, and Peter was awestruck as he looked at Jesus. We want you to live in Deliazo, and you and your guests are awestruck. Because Deliazo has 6 bedrooms, 6 reception. It has a cinema, for you, so you don't have to go. You can show it in your house. It has space for your parking. And for those who buy early, Macarios will throw in a swimming pool, which is worth about 15 million, free to them, for those who buy the Deliazo. So you might as well present that to your friends. Let me show you the layout of the Deliazo. It is on 3 floors, ground floor, first floor, and second floor. Next slide, please. And again, we want to give attention to quality. We want to give attention to quality. That's why we're bringing in other companies to build to specification and to specification. Next slide, please. The third build of Macarios will be the 10th floor apartments. We call it 2 names. We either call it the Akmazo or we call it Imperial Towers. There is a tower that has is the design. You may not be able to just grasp it, but we're just trying to let you know that on the ground floor, there will be a reception area, there will be a common area, and we're looking at the possibility in each of these 10th floor buildings to have your own gym, your own hall, your own pool. Certainly, each one of them will have 2 lifts to carry people. But certainly, it is of quality, it is outstanding, and it will be on the level of whatever you see anywhere. In fact, I believe that you will be able to proudly say you live in Macarios. And those who take advantage now will one day be able to find that within a short time, whether it's the land or the houses, the value increases in their land, in their hand. Next slide. And then the next slide, please. Next slide. Now we come to the plots. Macarios wants to do something very different. We waited 23 years. We never sold a plot to anyone. As a matter of fact, and in those 23 years, all we did was invest. If Macarios is exposed by way of borrowing, it will be that we borrowed to do the roads. Because when we finish and you go out now, you'll find that Macarios has 27 roads, all ready. When this event finishes, the 3 major roads will be tarred, and the 23 smaller ones or 24 smaller ones, their paving stones are ready. Ready. We have engineer Femi Falayi, whose company is the road contractors. Please stand up so we can appreciate it. Put your hands together for him. I feel that we have people who can do good job and we can engage them. Femi Falayi are the ones who also did the road they need to know. One more time, put your hands together for him. So we have at the moment, within the approved layout, 230 plots, all in blocks. The whole of Macarios is made up of 17 blocks, and we're only selling in 2 blocks at the moment, only 50 plots. When we finish selling the 50 plots, we'll take a break. And when we come back in 3 months' time, the price will not be the same as what it was. So Macarios plots would have electricity, cables already put in, the water would already be there, the drainage system will be central, so that whatever you did in your bathroom, number 1 or number 2, is going centrally to a central sewage system. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the CEO of Comment Engineering, who are building all our mechanical, electrical, plumbing, other letters I did not remember. Engineer Adeyemo, put your hands together, please. Engineer Adeyemo has handled several estates you may not even know. Pinnock Beach Estate, That's where I got impressed with their work, because that's where I have a little house, and anytime it rains, no matter how it rains in Lagos, you never see water for 30 seconds. And also I must also acknowledge Mr. Akim Ogunniran on that one, because he was committed to see that estate stood out. Today everybody is boasting about Pino. Please celebrate Akim Ogunniran one more time, former UPDC CEO. So that is what we want to do in Macarios. Each plot, as you come in, you plug into electricity, you plug into water, you plug into the sewage system. You may not know the hassle it takes away from you. So when people hear of some cheap plot somewhere, they do not know the consequences of buying those plots that don't have a layout approval or have all those amenities in place. Next. And so we come, okay, I've practically presented the commercial section. I'll talk a little bit more about it, and then we'll take the questions. So we have the mall, then we have the hotel. While I was out there, somebody asked a question, which I think we will take on board. Can this hotel be a place where you don't only rent a room, you can even rent an apartment? And even if you don't rent an apartment, maybe buy the apartment and rent it out as Airbnb. We'll look at it, I like it, because I've stayed in a hotel like that in Johannesburg called Michelangelo. I'm sure some of these people who travel a lot will remember the Michelangelo. Some of the rooms in Michelangelo are sold apartments. So the hotel collects rent on behalf of the owner. 40% to the owner, 60% to them. You can't blame them. They are, of course, now they are the ones who took all the aggravation of the tenants who stayed there for a few days. We'll consider that for our hotel. Next. I don't know which one this one is. So. Okay, now we come to Macarios Power. Like I told you earlier, I mustn't even announce the bill of Mr. Adeyemo to you. He's been calling me. I've not been taking his call because his bill is so high. Now I'm telling you why I did not take your call. When I saw his bill, my heart skipped. But you know what? We are committed to excellence, and that is what we will do. There will be 3 forms of power in Macarios. Number 1, the cabling of your plots will have been there. Number 2, we will bring in PHCN metered. Then we would allow people to have generator, but we would regulate the generator by way of the decibel of their noise. We will prefer the ones that they say silent. I don't think there's a silent generator. In fact, when you buy them silent, after 2-3 years, you are hearing a sound. So there will be generator, there will be PHCN, and the third, we would encourage solar. We would encourage solar. That's the kind of house in which I live right now. So sometimes when the PHCN takes off light, my gen kicks in within a minute. But when I'm not in, my housekeeper, a Filipino, I can't leave the gen for her. If there's no NEPA, solar takes over. She has light, she has there's light in for her TV, for her fridge, for everything. So that's what we want to do in Macarios, so people can have a convenient life, not having to endure. Next one. Water in Macarios, like I said again, will be central. It will be central, so water will be pumped to everyone in the estate. Next. Waste management. When I finish the presentation, if you please look at the layout on the board there, you will find where all the sewage of Macarios will gather. So there'll be a sewage treatment system. So there'll be no soak away. There will be no soak away. I mustn't tell you the drawbacks of soak away. Because one of it really is that it goes back again to the water you pull out from somewhere. So there'll be a central sewage system in the waste management, and who knows, some of it might just be extracted for agricultural purposes. Next, please. The roads. Macarios right now has 23 streets and 3 major roads and 2 walks. 23 streets, 2 major roads, 3 major roads and 2 walks. Our 3 major roads are 4-lane each, statutorily required for an estate that would be excellent. If not, the kind of land we use for road, I would have loved to sell it as plots. So the 3 major roads, all our roads, when you come to live in Macarios, we are not selling our roads. We have already given them names of birds. So the road behind you is Woodpecker Drive. The road that separates commercial is Falcon Drive. And the longest road here is Eagle Drive.
I think
Not yet, please, not yet. So all the roads have already been done. We've spent the past 7-8 months just building the roads. And once you leave today after this launching, the 3 major roads, they'll start the process of tarring. And then the 23 streets and walkways, the paving stones for them, 24,000 paving stones have already been prepared. So when you drive around today, you see the paving stones already gathered in strategic places. All our drains have been done. And may I just quickly say that our road drains to the 4-lane road at the back, actually built in conjunction with New Town Development. The New Town Development responsible for Ibejuleki. We've connected our road, Eagle Drive to that, and all our drains to their major drain, and it takes it straight to Eleko. So there'll be no flooding in Macarios. Whatever it takes, we're ready to give it to continue to be an estate of excellence. We have spent so much building just roads, not even houses, so that when people come, they find that the infrastructure is already in place. Already in place. We've had to put billions in the road infrastructure alone. Billions in the road infrastructure, and all 27 are ready. 2 walks, 23 streets, and 3 major roads. This is Macarios Luxury Place. Welcome to Macarios Luxury Place. Welcome to the future. Welcome to the greatness of Lagos State. Welcome to a place you also will be proud of. It is our hope and aspiration that the day we open, for example, our water display place, we'll be able to have His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, whom I believe somebody's going to win. I don't want to talk like for one party, because you have all kinds of people in this crowd today. Some people are obedient, some people are disobedient. Whatever you are, God bless you.
yes,
I know what I am inside me.
that's it.
When I went to seminary 51 years ago, my generation was taught not to ever allow our political stand to be known. Unfortunately, today you find men of the cloth quickly taking sides. I do not think it is wise. Because if it goes contrary to where you took your side, what do you think will happen in a nation where democracy is not practiced finely? Somebody is likely to punish you for being on the wrong side. So I'm standing alone.
Yes,
I am neutral in this matter. Thank you very much for coming today. Thank you for enduring the traffic, and our air condition that is taking time to blow. Thank you for being with us. May God bless you richly. Any questions, anything, we'll be ready to entertain. Thank you, MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, can we please put our hands together for our chairman? Please make it louder.
So that we got a layout approval. And some of us cannot go free with some things. If we do it, they say, it was Ashimolowo who did it. So we're going to stay strictly to the layout approval. So essentially with the layout approval, the things you saw there, that is the water display place in the commercial section. And by the way, like I said, people will pay to come and be part of the water display experience. The mall is where people can come. How will it be executed? We have designed the hotel. We have designed the mall. Those are the two, along with the water display place and the water park for the children, that we want to control. When it comes to the hotel, we designed it, but we'll be ready to sell it. When it comes to the school, we haven't even designed, we just have the land ready. We'll sell the whole land. When it comes to the event place, we will have, of course, at some point you will get to know. Part of my presentation was supposed to be to answer some questions, but we'll just leave, we'll just take your questions. When it comes to the event place, we will have our terms and conditions. We don't want people who live in Macarios to now find that people are breaking bottles at the event place. You know, I think it was Fela Kuti who said people can break bottles, but not today. For go, ebeni. Go come. So we will have terms and conditions, but our lands are available. Any of the commercial section, if you have a buyer, even the mall, we can sit down with the persons. We'll be ready to sell. We'd like to know the major carrier. The major carrier, I would have loved Mr. Ogunira to explain major carrier and then subsequent carrier. Please help me to explain that one. Come. This man is a guru of real estate. Put your hands together for him. He ran away from lecturing in law. His wife is now a professor. Please help me celebrate his wife. She just became professor of child and family law.
Amen. Okay, so for a mall to be successful, you need an anchor tenant. An anchor tenant usually is the, you know, when if you go to, most of the malls that you see are, people call them ShopRite. But in reality, ShopRite is just the anchor tenant. So you need an anchor tenant who will be the crowd puller. You need one or two, usually you need one major anchor tenant, you need a sub-anchor tenant. These are the people who now have to drag the other shops that we call the line shops. So when you are building your mall, the first thing you want to look at is the alignment with the sales and the business objectives of the anchor tenant. And there are so many of them today, apart from ShopRite, who can anchor your shopping mall. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before we take another question, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the CEO of the people who are building a promenade, and the 24 Terrace House is Mr. Tope Runshewe. Put your hands together for him. Come on. You sell 5 plots and give me your name and see what I will do. Sell 5 plots, then we can talk. Sell 10 plots, then we can talk more. Sell a whole 10 floor, Jesus. I hope you got it there. So before I announce the price, I have to tell you what it goes with. Many people buy land and then they go through the hassle of getting the electricity to get into the place, and getting the water to get into the place, and then getting a borehole to get into the place, and getting the road to get to the place. Let me start before I tell you. I get worried with people who just announce to you, COO in sight,
In view.
excision in sight. Macarios has 5 COOs. The last 4 COO, statutory cost to Lagos State 560 million naira. Pay Lagos State, you don't debate. It's 560 million. Layout approval, 36 million. And when we start building the terrace, they are going to tell us how much per square meter to Lagos State again. So because we are selling a land that we know will appreciate and is the Ikoyi of this end, our 300 square meters is 33 million naira. And if, as you have asked the question, if it is to be mortgaged over a 1-year period, you pay 5 million naira, and I hope you'll be able to drop your check today. You pay 5 million naira, and then you pay over a year a total of 38 million. So there's 5 million on top if you didn't pay one time. You pay one time, 33 million. And in fact, if you are paying one time, in this week, or for the whole of this February, we'll look at the kind of discount we can even give you. Our 500 square meters is 50 million naira, and that has already taken everything on board: the quality of the road, the quality of your documentation. Oh, and by the way, I did not add something. When you buy from Macarios, we don't come back to you for development. Everything is all inclusive. You see, the realtors are clapping because they know what is going on. They will sell cheap, they'll come back. Documentation fee, development levy. I'm buying some properties for my grandchildren and putting in a trust. After they advertised and are now paid, then they came back. They said documentation fee, almost 4 million. You did not tell me this one before. After I paid documentation fee, then they said development levy. Why didn't you develop the area before you came to me? So in Macarios, when you buy Macarios land, we give you your deed of sublease, we give you your receipt. If it's a plot, we give you your survey duly registered. Our surveyor is here this morning. Can you stand up so they can see you? Okay, he's there at the back. Please put your hands together for him. He's there at the back. Your survey, we give you your survey. We don't come back and charge you survey money. We don't come back and charge you development fee. We don't come back and charge you allocation fee. We don't charge you anything. In that money is everything you are paid. And if you pay over a year, we can accommodate it. We just put 5 million on top. And the reason we put 5 million on top is because of the process of receiving your money. A matter of fact, as we are receiving, we are also paying the agent who brought you. We are giving them their own every day you brought it. And Macarios tries to be fair. All the roads you are looking at was built with loan at 27%. 27% loan was taken, so that whatever we are presenting represents what I like to stand for: excellence. I hope I answered. Did I answer, sir? Okay, next question.
All right, next question.
Is that to get the layout approval, we had to submit beacon sheet. A beacon sheet shows the beacons in this estate. Just that one is 42 million. So, because there is a beacon sheet, it means your plot already has a connection which, even from the office of the Surveyor General, it can be traced. Not all this going into bush, buying things that they told you this place is okay. So we already have paid for the beacon sheet. Everything, you will get red copy. In fact, anyone who buys now, all we are waiting for is to drop their name and give them their survey papers. That's what we've done.
All right. Thank you. Comment, please. Let me take the gentleman here.
Government engineering, engineer DM incidentally handles much of the gas and the electrical at Redemption Camp. Matter of fact, he's the pastor of the headquarters of the whole of Redeem. Ebutemeta Redeem, isn't it? And he's from my village. So, when you buy a Macarios plot, it comes with terms and conditions. 1, 300 or 500 square meters, you can only build one house. You can only go 3 floors max. You cannot build flats and other attenuating conditions. For example, you have to give statutorily 2 meters to the road so that 1 meter is for people to be able to walk. We want people in the estate to do exercise and shed weight and feel strong. And then the 2nd meter is for people to be able to plant greens. So these will be in the terms and conditions. They are not onerous. They will be the kind of conditions that a person would like. One of the greatest things that happened to me was Mr. Oguniro, when he was head of UPDC, he was showing me all their estates and just took me to this estate, and I saw the lagoon, and I saw the land, and I saw the serenity. Even though I had land all over the place, some of you know my land in Mowe, this, that. I said, this is where I'm going to live. They had conditions. Even the penthouse, they measured how long my penthouse must be. So we will have those terms and conditions because we want the kind of quality house. In real estate, the house next door can pull you up or pull you down. Yeah. So that's why we will be insisting on certain quality and certain approach. So there will be terms and conditions which we will make available to the person. Honestly, like I'm telling you now, it took us 23 years to consolidate 83.7 acres, and we owed nobody anything until we started doing the roads. If a person says he wants his money back, minus maybe 25% administrative cost, before you ask for your money, just know we are going to take 25% out. We'll give you back your money. We will not let you change the playing field. What part of Macarios is that you cannot park on the street. You cannot park on the street. You cannot wash your car on a street. You wash your car in your space. Why? It makes the road to be durable.